Have you ever felt a shiver down your spine when contemplating the unknown? Do unsolved mysteries leave you yearning for answers? The world is filled with chilling cases that continue to baffle investigators and haunt our collective imagination. Today, we'll be exploring 10 chilling cases that remain unsolved, their secrets locked away for decades, even centuries. Hit that subscribe button to become a part of the investigation. 1. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper is perhaps the most infamous serial killer in history, terrorizing the streets of London's Whitechapel district in the late 19th century. Operating in 1888, Jack the Ripper gruesomely murdered at least 5 women, all prostitutes, in a series of brutal slayings that shocked Victorian society. The killer's modus operandi typically involved slashing the throats of his victims and mutilating their bodies in a manner that suggested a surgical knowledge, leading to widespread fear and speculation about the perpetrator's identity. 2. The Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer, active in Northern California during the late 1960s and early 1970s, remains one of the most notorious unidentified serial killers in American history. The killer, who adopted the moniker Zodiac, is known to have murdered at least 5 people, though he claimed to have killed as many as 37 in taunting letters sent to local newspapers. The crimes typically involved young couples, whom he targeted in isolated areas, exhibiting a chilling pattern of premeditated attacks that included shootings and stabbings. What set the Zodiac Killer apart was his penchant for sending cryptic messages, ciphers, and taunting letters to the media and law enforcement, adding a layer of intrigue and terror to the case. 3. The Black Dahlia Murder. The Black Dahlia Murder refers to the brutal killing of Elizabeth Short, a young aspiring actress whose mutilated body was discovered in a vacant lot in Los Angeles in 1947. Short's body was found severed at the waist and drained of blood, with her face slashed from the corners of her mouth to her ears, giving her a grotesque Glasgow smile. Despite intensive investigation by the Los Angeles Police Department and widespread speculation, the true identity of Short's killer and the motive behind her murder remain elusive. 4. The Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. The disappearance of Madeleine McCann is a haunting case that has gripped the world's attention since May 2007. Madeleine, a 3-year-old British girl, vanished from her family's holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal, while her parents dined at a nearby restaurant with friends. Despite extensive searches and international media coverage, Madeleine's whereabouts remain unknown, and her disappearance has become one of the most high-profile missing persons cases in history. The investigation into Madeleine's disappearance has been marked by numerous twists and turns, including false leads, sightings reported from around the world, and intense scrutiny of her parents, Kate and Jerry McCann. 5. The Somerton Man. The Somerton Man, also known as the Tamam Shud case, refers to the mysterious death of an unidentified man whose body was discovered on Somerton Beach near Adelaide, Australia, in 1948. The man was found lying propped up against a seawall, with no identification and all labels removed from his clothing. In his pocket, investigators found a scrap of paper with the words Tamam Shud, ended or finished in Persian, printed on it, torn from a rare book of Persian poetry. Despite extensive investigation, including fingerprinting, dental records checks, and efforts to trace the origins of the scrap of paper, the man's identity remains unknown. The case took a more puzzling turn when a copy of the same rare book from which the scrap of paper was torn was discovered in the back seat of an unlocked car near the beach. Inside the book, a series of coded letters were found, sparking speculation about espionage and clandestine activities. 6. The Tamam Shud case. The Tamam Shud case, also known as the mystery of the Somerton Man, revolves around the discovery of an unidentified deceased man on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia, in 1948. The man's body was found propped up against a seawall, with no identification and all labels removed from his clothing. In his pocket, investigators found a scrap of paper with the words Tamam Shud, ended or finished in Persian, printed on it, torn from a rare book of Persian poetry. Despite extensive investigation, including forensic analysis and efforts to trace the origins of the scrap of paper, the man's identity remains a mystery. One of the most perplexing aspects of the Tamam Shud case is the discovery of a copy of the same rare book from which the scrap of paper was torn in the back seat of an unlocked car near the beach. Inside the book, a series of cryptic letters were found, which have eluded attempts at decryption by both amateur and professional codebreakers. 7. The disappearance of the Beaumont children. The disappearance of the Beaumont children refers to one of Australia's most enduring mysteries, which occurred on January 26, 1966. On that day, Jane Beaumont, 9, Arna Beaumont, 7, and Grant Beaumont, 4, vanished from Glenelg Beach near Adelaide while on a family outing. Despite a massive search effort involving police, volunteers, and widespread media coverage, no trace of the children has ever been found. The case sent shockwaves through Australian society and remains one of the country's most infamous unsolved mysteries. Numerous theories and leads have emerged over the years, including reports of sightings and speculation about possible abductions, but none have led to a resolution. The disappearance of the Beaumont children has haunted the Australian public for decades, with occasional renewed efforts to uncover the truth. 8. The Isdal Woman. The Isdal Woman is the nickname given to an unidentified woman whose charred remains were discovered in the Isdalen Valley near Bergen, Norway, in November 1970. The woman's body was found in an isolated hiking area, surrounded by evidence of a fire that had been deliberately set. Despite extensive forensic investigation and efforts to identify her, including analysis of dental records and DNA testing, in more recent years, her identity remains unknown. Complicating the case further, the woman had removed all labels from her clothing and personal belongings, suggesting a deliberate attempt to conceal her identity. The circumstances surrounding the Isdal woman's death have sparked numerous theories, ranging from espionage and international intrigue to personal vendettas or involvement in criminal activities. Witnesses reported seeing the woman in the company of various unidentified individuals in the days leading up to her death, adding to the mystery surrounding her identity and the events that led to her demise. Despite decades of investigation and public interest, the Isdal woman remains one of Norway's most enduring unsolved mysteries, with her true identity and the circumstances of her death continuing to elude authorities. 9. The WOW Signal. The WOW signal refers to a mysterious radio signal detected by astronomer Jerry R. Eman on August 15, 1977, while working on a SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, project at Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope. The signal, lasting for 72 seconds, was detected in the 1420 MHz frequency, which is considered significant in SETI research due to its association with hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. Despite subsequent efforts to detect the signal again, it was never observed a second time, raising questions about its origin and nature. Various hypotheses have been proposed to explain the WOW signal, including natural phenomena or human-made interference, but none fully account for its characteristics. 10. D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper is the alias used by an unidentified individual who hijacked a commercial airplane on November 24, 1971, in the airspace between Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington. Cooper, described as a middle-aged man wearing a business suit and tie, handed a note to a flight attendant claiming to have a bomb and demanding $200,000 in cash and 4 parachutes. Despite one of the most extensive manhunts in U.S. history, no conclusive evidence of Cooper's identity or whereabouts has ever been found. The case has become one of the most enduring mysteries in American criminal history, with numerous theories and suspects proposed over the years. Hit that like button if these mysteries left you wanting more, and be sure to subscribe to join the community of curious minds. Also share your thoughts in comments below.